Okay, today is our last lesson for lesson 7.1, and then you'll be reviewing lesson 7.1 for a quiz. But today we're finishing up this lesson. I've split it up into three parts because there's just quite a bit of knowledge and information to learn here. So today we're going to express a fraction as a percent. Okay, here we have a fraction 3/20ths. Now, if you remember, when you express something as a percent, that percent is like that number over 100. So we're going to change our denominator to 100 for this fraction, okay, which is a pretty simple thing to do. 20 times what number is 100? Well, we know 20 times 5 is 100. So if that got multiplied by 5, this has to get multiplied by 5. And 3 times 5 is 15. So there, our top number, since it's over 100, our top number is our percent. So it would be 15%. Okay? Now, those are the easy kind. When your denominator, when you can multiply that by a number and it comes out evenly to 100, then the top number will be your percent. Okay? All right, now I'm going to show you one where that's not the case. Okay, if I have 7/8 and I'm trying to change the denominator to 100, there isn't a whole number that you can multiply 8 by to get 100. Okay, and if that happens, here's what you do. We're going to take our top number, 7, and we're going to divide it by 8. Okay, 7 divided by 8. Now, 8 doesn't go into 7, so remember we put a decimal point and add a 0. Now 8 goes into 70 8 times, so 8 times 8 is 64. Now we subtract, we get a 6. Okay, it hasn't come out even yet, so let's add a 0 and bring it down. Okay, 8 goes into 60 7 times, because 8 times 7 is 56, and subtract. Okay, still hasn't come out even. Let's try one more 0. See if we can get it to come out even. 8 goes into 45 times, so 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, now it came out even. Okay, so now we have, this got changed to 0.875. Okay, now that's decimal form, because that's 875 thousandths. So to convert that to a percent, we just take our decimal point, move it 2 places to the right, and now we have 87.5%. Okay, so there's how to do that kind. Okay, you also may be asked to use a proportion to change a fraction to a percent. So I'm going to show you one of them. Okay, 5/8. We're going to use the proportion directions to change that fraction to a percent. So we're going to put our 100 over here. Now we know 8 times a whole number is not going to equal 100. So here's the simple way to do a proportion. Look at what's diagonal. Okay, we're trying to figure out this number that goes as our numerator. Okay, so let's look at the numbers that are diagonal. 100 and 5. We're going to multiply those together. 100 times 5 we know is 500. So then what we're going to do is we're going to divide it by the 8. And then that'll give us our number for the top of our, for our percent. Okay? So 8 goes into 50 6 times. 6 times 8 is 48. Subtract, you're going to get 2. Didn't come out even. Let's bring down the 0. 8 goes into 20. 2 times. 2 times 8 is 16. Subtract, we get 4. Okay, now, we haven't added any zeros yet, but we're going to have to put a decimal point before we add a 0. Okay, so now we bring down our 0 that we added, and 8 goes into 40 5 times. And 8 times 5 is 40. Okay, now, since we did this using the proportion method, this is already in the form to be a percent. So it would be 62.5%. Okay? All right, so 3 ways you can express a fraction as a percent. And there are more examples in your book too if you need more examples to look at. Okay? All right, do your best.